A lot of people are in my comments and in my DMs right now saying that because Erika Kirk has not publicly said anything against Candace Owens or about Candace Owens, that she must be completely okay with everything Candace Owens has said. And because Candace has promised that she would stop if she got word that Erika wanted her to. And first of all, you don't know what Erika has privately said to Candace or not. You are trusting that Candace would stop if she got word that Erika wanted her to. That's fine. You have the right to trust that. But also, let's think through this logically for a few minutes. Erika Kirk is not just Charlie Kirk's wife. She's now the CEO of Turning Point USA. Candace Owens has explicitly called out Turning Point USA on several occasions. She has said, not a single one of you is acting correctly. She has suggested that Charlie Kirk's entire life, his entire life, her words, might have been the Truman Show. All of that obviously doesn't reflect well on the wife, especially when the wife is now the CEO of Turning Point USA, the head of this organization that Candace Owens keeps calling out. Even just the Truman Show accusation, even if she weren't the CEO. So that doesn't implicate the wife? You're calling maybe his life the Truman Show? That doesn't include his wife, the most important person in his life? Why would any wife be okay with that? Why would she be neutral about that? Why would she be happy about that? That doesn't really make sense. And people are saying, oh, because she's silent. Well, silence is not a tacit endorsement. That's leftist logic. That's where the idea that silence is violence comes from. That if you aren't speaking up on something, you must be okay with it. If you're not posting a black square, you must be good with white supremacy. That's not actually true. We know that Erika Kirk her MO isn't really to get on Twitter or to get in front of a camera and start calling people out. And especially when she's grieving. She has other things on her mind. Why should she have to deal with this? It makes sense to me that Andrew and Blake and Tyler are the people kind of handling this. Why would Erika Kirk be handling this right now? Also, every single time she does get in front of a camera, which has only been 3 times in the 4 weeks since this happened, she gets massive levels of hate. She gets picked apart, not just from the left, but also from the right. And if she were to publicly say anything even remotely critical of Candace Owens, the hate would be on a level that you could not believe. So why would she do that? Why should she do that? But again, her silence isn't proof that she's okay with everything. I've had people suggest that she's the person who's leaking to Candace. If that were the case, why would Erika Kirk publicly forgive her husband's accused killer? Because in that moment, she solidified his guilt in a lot of people's minds. It doesn't make sense that she's secretly working with Candace. Why wasn't Candace invited to speak at the memorial? Kind of seems like she wasn't. You can't just be pinned on Israel because Tucker Carlson was invited to speak at the memorial. And Candace Owens claims that Charlie Kirk wanted to bring her back. We know from this text that he said he was thinking of bringing Candace back. There's a bit of a distinction there. But why isn't Candace back, whatever that means? To me, it didn't even seem like they necessarily parted ways. She was still speaking at Turning Point USA events last year. But why isn't she back? Why isn't she on the campus stops with Michael Knowles and Megyn Kelly? Maybe she was invited and she turned it down, but I think she would tell us. I think Andrew Colvett would even say, hey, we invited Candace, but she couldn't do it. There's no bad blood here. Just seems to me like maybe Erika Kirk and Candace Owens aren't like really tight. Maybe Erika Kirk isn't totally okay with everything Candace is saying, just speculating, just asking questions. It doesn't seem like Erika Kirk follows Candace Owens on Instagram. And they've known each other for years, so why wasn't Erika Kirk already following Candace on Instagram? Again, I know she's got better things to deal with right now than like social media, but why wasn't she already following her? And I know that this doesn't matter to a lot of people. You have come right out and told me that you don't care about his wife. I just want to know like where the human decency is. And that was my entire point in the video that got Candace upset. That I think a lot of what has been said has been disrespectful to his wife. And that matters to me, not because I want to be a white knight, but because she was important to Charlie, then she's important to me. I don't think the best way to honor Charlie is to be disrespectful to his wife. That is the thing that makes the most sense to me. And you can't just tell me, oh, she's been silent, so it's all good. That really, to me, seems so juvenile and illogical. But you guys tell me what you think and, leave the hate comments. It's quite all right.